Hi, it's MRA Watercolor Week 14. This time we will add details to our night sky paintings using some watery acrylic paint for stars, and then using the neutral gray from our watercolor palettes for other details along the bottom. We'll have a choice of flat and round brushes to use, and this time in the smaller sizes. These will be great for adding details and for doing the spattering in a new way. So before we begin to add them directly to our painting, we are going to practice. We'll practice spattering on a black sheet of paper. You'll be able to use the round brush for this, not a toothbrush, to have better control of the spattering. Notice this is acrylic paint. It will do a great job of letting the stars sit on top of the paper, therefore being more bright than watercolor white paint, but it will stain your clothes. So we'll do this slowly and practice first. When we do this, we'll fill our brush with some of the white paint. It needs to be full of the paint but not drippy. And we'll hold the brush and tap with the pencil like this. You'll see in the demo soon. So after you've practiced spattering on the black paper, you'll be able to add the stars to your painting, being careful not to spatter your clothes or your neighbor. So as those stars are drying, you'll make a puddle of the neutral gray. On a strip of watercolor paper that you will have, I want you to practice a few trees. For this first example, I'll use the round brush. Take some of the neutral gray paint. Start by locating the tree trunk. It's okay if it's not perfect. Then using your tip of your brush, and also at times you might use the side of the brush, and you'll probably notice me use my pinky to steady my hand. But just start to dot on where some of the leaves could be occurring, or the pine tree branches. Just fanning it and making it wider as you go down. At the very bottom, we'll be adding just a solid color of the neutral gray. So don't worry too much about the bottom. You can always go back up and add a little more height to it if you feel like the tree needs a little more height or more variation. And you can just, using the side of the brush, just start to fill in the bottom. You can do it similarly with the flat brush. You can use the flat side to your advantage to get a nice straight line. Again, using the point at first, especially along the top, because you can get really thin lines of the tree branches. And then you can start to use the full width of the brush as you go down. Make sure you have a lot of pigment in your puddle so that these will dry nice and dark. Again, filling in there. Here is a completed one using the flat brush only to do the trees. The trees are straight up into the sky as if the forest is a bit far off in the distance. Here, a line of city buildings are done in a similar way using the small flat brush. Let the bristles of the flat brush work for you. They'll help you get straight lines and corners if you choose to do this one. If you'd rather, here are some flowers and weeds shown as if you're lying in the grass. I used the round brush for all of this. Notice even with practice, some larger stars happened, but that's okay. After you've practiced what you want to do for either trees, buildings, flowers, then you can move into adding these details to your painting. Now I'm going to show you the demo for painting this one here, sped up with no voiceover. In this one I chose to use the round brush, shown from the perspective of looking up from the midst of the forest. It's inspired by the photos we looked at last week. That's it. Thank you so much for watching.